What's up, guys? It's Oleh here, and today I'm going to be bringing you something different. I'm going to be bringing you a Yu-Gi-Oh deck profile. Now, I recently got back into Yu-Gi-Oh from Hurricane Sandy because during Sandy there was no power and stuff, and me and my friends found our old cards. So we decided to get back into. So we found and we dueled, we had fun. So I decided to get back into Yu-Gi-Oh along with all of us. So yeah. I'm actually, the thing is, I missed the whole 5D saga, so I missed all the synchros and tuners, so I barely have any synchros or tuners available, which really sucks. But, nevertheless, it's still really fun, like, to get, yeah, whatever. Anyway, I built a deck that I used to like using back in the day, which is a Cyber Dragon deck. But the fact that when I found out Future Fusion was banned, I got so mad. But I actually, kind of found a way around it, and this is a really good compensation. And also, I took this deck with me to my locals, like, I finished it there, and then I dueled some people who entered the tournament, because I didn't enter the tournament yet, because I felt like I wasn't experienced enough again. So, I dueled some people there, and it's beat a lot of mainstream decks, like the Atlanteans and the, wind-ups. It's beaten all those. It also, I also played Light Sponge there, and some weird ass like Z-Summon, and I have beaten all of them with it. I did lose to the wind-ups match duel style, like I won one, lost one, but still, this deck has a lot of potential and it's really good. So yeah, let's start off with it. So first, obviously, 3 Cyber Dragons. Staple card in this deck, you can special summon when I have no monsters in the field. I mean, when I have no monsters in the field and my opponent does, I special summon it. It's used for diffusion in this deck. It's a great card, easy summon, powerful beater, simple as that. Amazing card, one of my favorites. That's why I use this deck. Next, 3's Waves. This card becomes a Cyber Dragon when I show my opponent a spell card, and it's also Cyber Dragon in my graveyard. This card's amazing for fusing. It's great. That's pretty much what it is. It's just great for fusing and some other combos that I like to use in this deck. It also gets 300 attack points when I attack an opponent's monster. So even though it has 1500 attack points, it's a little more than that, and I really like this card. So 3's Waves. This card saved my life many times, and that's the point. Next, I run 2 Proto Cyber Dragons, not 3. I've seen people run 3 before, like a lot. Like I checked a bunch of recipes before, and honestly, I feel like 3 is too much. It's not that great of a monster. It is really weak, and it's just not that great of a card. I usually have, like, when I have 3, it's usually a dead draw, to be honest. I don't have much use for it. But when it's 2, I usually get it when I need it. I don't know, it's weird. I feel like 3 is too much because it's too weak, and sometimes there could be something else other than this card that I draw. So I run 2, and it works out great. Even though I should have the most Cyber Dragons I can in this deck, which would, one more Proto would be 9 Cyber Dragons, I think 2 is plenty. Next, I use a card that I don't see a lot of Cyber Dragon decks use, which I don't know why. It's great for stalling, and that's kind of what this deck is. It's a stall fusion OTK deck. I run 3 Cyber Larvas. Basically, what this card does is when it's destroyed, I can summon another one, and also, when this card is targeted for an attack, I don't take battle damage this turn. It's essentially great for stalling and getting this stuff to my graveyard so I can use it to fuse. I'll show you the card that fuses later, but I'm pretty sure many of you, if you know Yu-Gi-Oh, probably know. I use this card to get stuff to my graveyard to stall and not take damage. It's as simple as that. It's a great card, and it saved me many times, especially against my friend's Dragon deck yesterday. I pretty much was gonna lose, but I got this card, I stalled, I got, the card that I needed, and I proceeded to OTK him with a powerful-ass Chimera attack. So, yeah. Amazing card. That's it. Next, 3 Cyber Valleys. This card gives me draw power. This is a draw-heavy, stall deck that, until I get my OTK. So what Cyber Valley does is when it gets when it's attacked in face-up attack position, I can remove it from play, and then I can draw a card. It also has several other abilities that I don't use, although its third ability, if I remove it and 2 monsters and another monster from play, I can draw 2 cards, which is basically what I do with Larva. Since I have 3 Cyber Larva and then this Valley, when I'll just summon this, remove this from play, draw 2 cards, and usually it works out because it's a high risk, high reward thing, but usually I do get some cards that I need, and yeah, it works out great. Since Larva's a weak monster, it's a great combination, and that's what I like about it. Next, 2 Cyber Phoenixes. Cyber Phoenix is a great card because it just lets me draw, and also has a second ability where like a face-up machine-type monsters cannot be targeted by a card, which is great. I mean, cannot be targeted by a spell or trap card. Not it can still be targeted by effect monsters. But it's a great card because it prevents some of my stuff from being destroyed by like Dimensional Prison and stuff, and then also, yeah, I draw a card. When it's destroyed face up on the field, I draw a card, and that's kind of the point of this card to be in this deck, to be honest. So yeah, 2 Cyber Phoenix. 3 is too much. It's just like that. Next, Cyber Eltonin. This card has saved me so many times. I can't even like fathom. I'm probably gonna spend like 3 minutes just explaining why this card is so good. I don't know why. Like, I watched Cyber Dragon deck recipes before, and I don't think I've seen anybody use this card, and I don't know why. I mean, I've seen maybe 1 or 2 people use it, but it's so amazing. Basically, what you do is you remove all light machine monsters in your graveyard and in your deck to, not in your deck, in your graveyard and on your field to special summon this card, and for every card removed, I get 500 attack plays, but it also has a secondary effect, and that effect is that it destroys every other monster on the field. So sometimes when my opponent has like a BLS on the field and I have no hope, I'll just remove a card or 2 and proceed to destroy BLS. This card has saved me so many times. I remember I was doing Light Sworns, the guy summoned 2 Judgment Dragons, I was able to stop his attack, I drew Eltonin, and then he got furious. Like, this was on Dueling Network and he quit right afterwards. It was amazing. This card wins games. Pretty much is that. It's just great, and then if I get it at like late game when I used up all my fusions, you know, and I still just can't get the win, and I draw this card, usually this card is the game changer. So yeah, amazing card. I don't know why people don't use this amazing card, but yeah, so 1 Cyber Eltonin. Then I run a Machina Fortress. I don't have much explanation for this. If it gets destroyed, I can destroy one of their cards. It's easy to summon. It's a great 2500 attack beater because the most powerful thing I have is Cyber Dragon, other than my fusions. So Machina Fortress comes in really in handy, and yeah, that's all I have to say about that. Next, 2 Light Hexfield fusions. I think that was the whole entire machine portion of my deck, but yeah, now 2 Light Hexfield fusions. Not much to explain. Very easy to summon fusion monsters with this thing. Usually I summon Cyber Twin Dragon with it, and yeah, not much to say. Amazing card, that's pretty much it. Then, 2 Signing Angels. Amazing to search cards out, like Proto, Sway, Larva, and Valley. All those cards, I just search out with it, and, you know, I mean, I could run 3, but I feel like 2 is enough, because I usually have the Cyber Dragons that I need. So this card is amazing, and yeah, it's just, no explanation needed. It's just great to search. 1 Honest. Honest basically prevents my stuff from being destroyed. You know, when my monster gets attacked, I can discard this card, and my monster gains the attack points of the opponents during the damage step. So pretty much my opponent gets monsters get destroyed. I've destroyed Blackluster Soldiers with it, all those XYZ monsters that fucking wind up summon with, like, that's how I won my wind up duel against the guy at the thing. I had his way in the field, he summoned Utopias, this is during the damage step, he can't stop the attack. Destroyed that, I drew I think Proto, used Power Bond, finished him off. It was that was it. Like, I mean, it was just one scenario, but Honest helps a lot. There really shouldn't be an explanation needed for this. Now, let's go to spell cards. Obviously, 2 Power Bonds. If it's used to fuse machines, and it doubles their attack when the fusion happens. The only downside is that I lose my life points equal to the original attack of my monster. But usually, if this is an OTK deck, and usually when I use this card, duel's over, you know, that turn. Either he uses a card to remove my card from play, my monster from play, and I lose, or he gets absolutely destroyed. And that's pretty much it. This card's amazing. Like, I think the risk is worth it, and yeah, 2 Power Bonds. No explanation needed. I mean, a little explanation needed. Then, 2 Overload Fusions. This is pretty much what replaced Future Fusion. Overload Fusion, is like Miracle Fusion, but for Chimera Tech. I remove as many cards from play as I need to summon a dark machine type fusion monster. So this is like made for Chimera Tech Over Dragon. And this card is amazing because I can just remove as many cards as I want. That's why I have Larva also. Larva gets destroyed, I get another one, gets destroyed, get another one, bam, I can just use this a lot, and I can use this along with the Cyber Dragon in my graveyard, and I can have 2400 attack point. No, 3200 attack point Fusion Monster right off the bat. It's amazing. There's no explanation needed. This card is the most important, pretty much, card in this deck. Then I have run the Holy Trinity. You know, no explanation needed. And limiter removal. This is again, no explanation needed, because I say this a lot, but limiter removal doubles the attack of all machines on the field and then destroys them at the end of the turn. Basically, it helps the OTK. That's pretty much it. It helps the OTK, it destroys everything, and if I'm in a tight situation, I can use this, destroy, and, you know, deal with my opponent afterwards. Next, I run 1 MST. I'm thinking about running 2, because, I mean, honestly, I can't have back row against me with this deck, since it's an OTK deck. I need, you know, my opponent's back row to be gone. But I don't know what to take out for this card, so maybe you guys could give me suggestions, and I'll, you know, think about it. But yeah, I could kind of like your help with this one. I need suggestions to what to put another Typhoon in for. I just in my side deck, but I just don't know what to take out for it. So yeah, 1 MST. Next, Pot of Avarice. Basically, I have a lot of cards going to the graveyard in this deck, so this card's amazing because it just brings everything back to my deck, and I just shuffle and draw 2 cards. It's just it's because I have a lot of cards in my graveyard usually with this card, especially with usually 3 larvae like being in my graveyard the first couple of turns, and then just 2 monsters is no problem. So yeah, Pot of Avarice, very simple. Helps with the stall also because I get my larva back. So yeah, Pot of Avarice. Next, Book of Moon. I don't feel like I need an explanation. It just gets me out of tight situations. Lightning Vortex gets rid of monsters, so I can easily OTK my opponent. That's pretty much it. Swords of Radiant Light helps with the stall. It's like I said, this deck's a stall deck, so I was thinking of taking it out for another MST, but then I realized it helps with the stall. Especially yesterday, I was doing my friend's Chaos Dragon deck, and not Chaos Dragon deck, just like a Dragon deck. Yeah. Anyway, I was doing that thing, and well, this helped me stall for the larvas that pretty much eventually made me win the duel. So yeah, amazing, you know, card. Obviously, it's staple. Yeah, I was thinking of taking it out, but I eventually decided not to. And finally, as my spell card, I have an Evolution Burst. What this card does, I was also thinking of taking out this for MST, although it pretty much does the same thing as MST. If I have a Cyber Dragon on my field, which, you know, I have 8 in my deck, I can destroy any card that my opponent has on the field, but a Cyber Dragon cannot attack the turn I use this card. So what I like to do with this card is, usually with Zwei, I can summon it, I can attack my opponent, then I can use Evolution Burst on their stronger monster that they have. Because, with Zwei, I have to show a spell card for him to be Cyber Dragon, so I show my opponent Evolution Burst on my main phase 2, then I use it, because technically Cyber Dragon Zwei attacked, and not Cyber Dragon. So yeah, it's a great combination, I really like it, and then Evolution Burst just destroys cards that are really threatening to me, so I run an Evolution Burst. It's a great card. I don't see many Cyber Dragons that run this either, but I like this card a lot. So next, let's go to the trap cards. So first, 2 Call the Haunted. I need cards to fuse with, obviously for Power Bond. I mean, Overload Fusion Call the Haunted doesn't help, but for Power Bond, this helps a lot. And also, I believe my fusion monsters can be special summoned. You know, like, they can be fusion summoned, but they can also be special summoned from the graveyard. So, except Chimera Tech. I know Chimera Tech can't be special summoned except by fusion summon. But yeah, this card just gets cards back to me, and they get back monsters back to my field. So that's pretty much it. I really don't have much to say about that. 2 Call the Haunted. I need cards from my graveyard back to my field, and that's it. So next, I run a Bottomless and a Mirror Force. Obvious reasons. It's obvious. I don't know. I don't want to run 2 Bottomless, mainly because I don't own many. I own like 3. So yeah, I just don't feel the use for Bottomless trap. 2 Bottomless trap holes. I don't know. That's just me. I use Magic Cylinder. This is also what I consider taking out for MST. Because, I mean, it's kind of empty space, but it's not. It helps to make the OTKs easier. Since this is an OTK deck, he attacks me, I use this, then maybe I can summon and, you know, destroy my opponent. Now, I mean, not everything will have 8,000 attack points, but this Magic Cylinder damage will help. I was thinking of taking it out, but I don't know. So, yeah, Magic Cylinder. Then I run Threatening Roar. Threatening Roar is simple. I use it during, I use this card, my opponent cannot conduct a battle phase this turn. Now, I had one duel, this was the Lightsworn, Cyber Elton, and duel that I had, Cyber Elton and Judgment Dragon duel that I talked about before. My opponent summoned Judgment Dragon. He used the ability, I used Threatening Roar to chain it, so he couldn't protect his battle phase, but he destroyed everything in my field, so I thought I had no hope after that. Then he summoned another one, and, you know, he couldn't attack, so I was like, I have one turn, I have no hope. I drew Elton in, and then summoned it, destroyed everything he had, he rage quit. It was great. Basically, this card stalls, and that's all that there's too much. It gets me out of tight situations, it's amazing, yeah, helps to stall. And finally, Rainbow Life. This card is basically like this. I discard a card, and then whatever life points I lose this turn, I gain. So usually when I'm in a tight situation and my opponent attacks, I use this during the damage step, discard a card, I gain my opponent's monster's, you know, attack points into my life points. And then also it's a great combination with Power Bond, because I fuse, I have that damage from Power Bond at the end, but if I have Rainbow Life, I can just gain those life points instead of lose them. So yeah, Rainbow Life has saved my life many times, and that's pretty much it. So that's the deck, and now let's go into my extra deck. 2 Chimera attacks. Very simple, I need no explanation. That's the point of this deck, to fusion someone and just to fuck shit up. And that's what this thing does. I remove everything with Overload Fusion, I get this card to like 5,000 attack points, it can attack as many monsters as it wants, and I proceed to kill stuff. Simple as that. Next, 2 Cyber End Dragons. This thing is really hard to summon, and honestly, I've barely been ever able to summon it, but when I did, I remember I power bonded, the guy had a Spear Reaper in defense mode, I attacked, it does piercing damage, it, you know, killed him. But, it's still hard to summon, but I still run them, and yeah, 2 Cyber End Dragons. Then, pretty much the MVP of this whole entire deck, along with Elton and the Chimera Tech, but I love this card because it's so easy to summon for me, 2 Cyber Twin Dragons. I mean, I don't run 3 because I actually don't have enough opportunities to summon 3 of them, but with Light Hex Sealed Fusion and all the Cyber Dragons that I have, this card is summoned so many times, and it just destroys my opponent. It makes everybody cry. I love this card, so yeah, I run 2 Cyber Twin Dragons, it's amazing, simple as that. And then for the XYZs, I just kind of run staple XYZs, although this one I believe kind of deserves more of explanation or shout out or whatever. Even though I only have 4 level 3s in my deck, I do use the Rare Sea Dragon, because when I remove everything with my Overload Fusion, I'm going to need some monsters back, and that's what the Rare Sea Dragon does. I get monsters back. You know, they have to be level 4 or less, but I can just get a Zwei back, and, you know, maybe fuse some more if I ever need to. This card, I've barely ever used, if any time. Like in real life, I haven't used it. I think in Doing Network, I might have used it once or twice. But this card does do great, and whenever I use it, it does pull out, you know, like what I need it for, if that ever makes sense. But yeah, and then if I'm ever in trouble, I usually never XZ summon in this deck, but if I'm ever in trouble and kind of need to like do it automatically, since I have a lot of level 4s, I run Utopia, Shockmaster, Gemini Pearl, Papal Operative, Zenmeister. And then with Cyber Dragons, since I have level 5s, actually let me just go for the rank 4, my last one. I use a Maestro, because rank 4, Maestro's great. And then King, RGS Keeper of Armageddon, because of the Cyber Dragons. And, you know, when I XZ them, I can just dash the card and destroy the card. So yeah, that's the deck. I hope you guys enjoyed this. I know it's kind of long, but this was kind of an in-depth deck profile, although I doubt anybody will watch it. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this. You know, leave me suggestions to what it can help this deck. And yeah, so rate, comment, subscribe, and I will see you all later.